welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're here for game number 3, which, if you want to know how to say 3 in Spanish, it's tres, not cuatro. My name is F. Joined here by Hindu Man. The last one was extremely exciting, and we're going to see how this all comes down to a conclusion in our third place match.
So, last game we saw Juice Gaming dominate that one for the most part, but it was unconventional picks, as we'd like to say, because we normally see an Anubis in the mid lane is not too often. Sure. Although some teams may start running it again, I think, going forward, it's quite strong. But Release Gaming got almost baited into fighting on Juice's terms the whole game. I don't think we'll see that in the game 3, though.
Exactly. This last game was played at Juice's pace. That's the pace they want to play the game.
I said release. I don't know why I said release. I meant elevate.
Yeah,
that was yesterday. I'm still on yesterday.
That's the pace that Juice wanted to play this game at. High octane, high damage, high amounts of fighting, and they got exactly what they asked for.
And Elevate, I think Juice
unable to keep up.
Juice Gaming this time should try the same thing.
I agree.
Because it works out so well for them. If they can bait Elevate into doing that, that'd be great. I don't think Elevate will do that, though, all being well. Biggest things that happened in that game, though, was the picks early were very, very effective for Juice Gaming. The rotation by Elevate to the solo lane and pick up the tier 1 tower is fantastic. But the response from Juice, where they got that Gold Fury, that kind of broke the back of the game right there when they got that first Gold Fury for me. And it just went off from there. If Juice Gaming don't manage to get that early Gold Fury again in the same sort of situation, I think Elevate could definitely come back into it.
It's definitely a possibility. We'll take a look. Jean Quay taking off the board. Hell, going to be banned out by Elevate.
I need to know what the like 1v1 stats are between Hotbow and Transonics in this game now, because I'm pretty sure it's gone backwards and forwards.
It really has.
So it's pretty close between the two. It looks like the boys at Juice are a lot more comfortable, a lot more happy after that last game, which makes perfect sense.
Exactly. That's really what I was talking about when it comes to mindset. Khepri banned out by Juice. Love the Khepri ban, and that allows Elevate to leave open Xbalanque. Transonics, well known for his capacity to just dominate on this Mayan Hunter.
And they've banned it out twice against him as well so far. This is the first time he's got through for him, so Transonics more than likely going to be playing that. Although Dust has been playing around on the ult today, so maybe we'll see him take that to the solo lane.
This is without a doubt going to Transonics. I mean, we even saw Xbalanque banned yesterday in day 1 against Transonics. It's no secret that he can play that chibi.
Dust must hate life right now. Like, he's had to face off against Uzzy's Guan 3 games in a row.
Yep.
Like, can we just ban it? And they're like, no! You're fine, don't worry about it. It's only Guan. And he's like, guys, he Shreks me.
Puri gets his Janus. Purified, a strong Janus player. I mean, at the end of the day, Janus is Janus. He's
definitely
one of the strongest mages to put in that mid-roll.
A very much more serious game from both teams here. You can already see this on paper. I think Juice came into the last one like, we ain't got nothing to lose. This one, there's still money on the line, so they're back to sort of a more traditional comp. Last time we saw the Janus coming out for Purified was game 1 against Release, which he had an okay time of, but he didn't, well, I say he had an okay time because he didn't really die, but he never really got involved enough.
Poseidon selected for Elevate. Second round of bans coming out.
Poseidon's very effective against those 3 gods that Juice have drafted. I mean, Xbalanque can't use the Rising Jaguar when the whirlpool's underneath him. And same for Janus, he can't go through the portals. And he's very suspect to Kraken's early game. If Poseidon can get off to a very flying start here, hit level 5 just before Janus can, we could see Purified disappear.
Dust showing off his Kappa shirt right there. Gray face, no space. And Dan,
type gray face, no space in chat, guys.
I don't really know what Dan's about, but everybody wants to drop the gray face, no space in chat if you want to put that face down there. Second bans come out. Noah Wheelish for TeeVee, and no Xing Chen for anybody on the side of Elevate as Ho Yi is locked in for the Hotbow.
So Hotbow going back to his. Now that's the matchup we saw Hotbow in yesterday as well, where we saw him take on
there he is.
Air Cougar.
That's Hotbow himself.
Air Cougar on that Xbalanque before, so we've seen those matchups. So those two gods of Xbalanque and Ho Yi know each other very well in the Xbox scene.
Very, very much so. And with that, Juice thinking about their last couple of picks. We're going to see the Cabrakan, so the Fat Loki makes a return, and the Bellona as well.
Okay, so Dust going to be taking the Bellona to the solo lane, more than likely to deal with the Guan, which I think is a fine pick there. And then Cabrakan in the jungle. Little Page out of Xing's book from yesterday here coming out for TeeVee. Very aggressive early game, transitions into a supportive sort of god later in the game. Bit more difficult to pick targets here. My biggest issue on the side of Juice Gaming's lineup is the Poseidon on the other side. That's the biggest problem.
Yeah. I see that. Hades selected for Elevate. Hades likely gonna...
Hades solo, Guan jungle.
Yeah.
We saw it come out of Elevate earlier on today. It's going to be the same thing, I think. Yeah.
It's possible to see the Poseidon in the jungle.
Oh, come on. Come on. Calm down. Just because you saw a Chuck doesn't mean all your dreams are going to come true with a Poseidon jungle as well.
I still want to see another Chuck, man, but I'll take Janus. Janus is a very, very strong mid laner, no matter how you slice it up. We'll take a look as these teams get ready to go underway. Let's Elevate right now, discussing their opening strategies and how they're going to be entering the battlefield.
Now, don't forget, this is the third, fourth place matchup as well. Winner will take third and get an additional $500 in their coffers. We've still got first versus second to decide as well later on today, which will be a best of 5 between the boys of Eager and Release Gaming, who both had very good performances yesterday. Eager,
a lot of familiar faces on that squad. Air Cougar and a bunch of other people you might recognize. And then Release, represented most by Xing and Clow, and a supporting cast of talented Xbox players alike. So that's who we'll be seeing after this one. But for right now, take a look at the Juice guys as they look pretty locked in. TeeVee and Purified discussing a little bit. Transonics and the rest locked in, looking ready to play. There's our stage, and we'll get into the battlefield. Juice versus Elevate. Game point, winner takes third.
Winner takes third. Winner takes it all pretty much in terms of what's left on the line for these two teams. And early on, you can see a big grouping from Elevate looking for an early pick, potentially in the jungle. So they're going to go deep to look for a ward, maybe find somebody, which will probably be Dust if they find anyone.
It will be the jungle Guan, so no jungle Poseidon this time around.
Really smart, actually, from Juice Gaming. Look how defensive they've been at the start of this game. They realize by the position of Dust and TeeVee here, they don't want to try and take a fight at the beginning of the game or get picked. So very, very passive, very, very safe. But it doesn't give away a little bit of jungle control, and that's a very deep ward now that Elevate get to see how the speed buff's going.
Outside of that original grouping, looks to be
this is a different strategy at the start of the game because they were a bit worried, I think, with the Cabrakan.
At mids.
Yeah, we saw this out of Juice Game the other day where they went mid Harpies on the left-hand side. We actually saw the Janus start over on the right, though, with this dual lane. But no, actually, I was going to say they thought they were going to start blue buff these two, but instead, they're going to invade.
Yeah.
They know this invade's coming, though, Elevate, because there's a ward where the speed buff is. So they should be prepared for some strange cheese potential coming out from the boys of Juice here, or maybe thinking they're just going to start the blue.
TeeVee playing that jungle Cabrakan.
We spotted in a second.
Coming on in here.
We
are going to get aggressive on the opponent. Here comes TeeVee
now.
Looking for that speed buff. Going direct. Oh, leashed.
Now, they dropped it very early. They saw Tele Assault get cancelled very, very quickly by Gustavy. They didn't really mess around too much with trying to leash it backwards and forwards. And you can see Ozzy's just going to put down those in-hands as much as possible and poke them all out. And in the end, Juice Gaming wash, but left-hand side, they're looking for the purple.
Gili gets a knockup, but ultimately, Elevate do pick up their own purple.
So double attempts at invade from Juice, but it doesn't pay off for them whatsoever.
Attempt and a double failure, unfortunately.
So he puts them behind at the moment for the experience at the beginning of this game. The two mid laners, you can see, face off against each other. Poseidon could definitely solo the mid Harpies very, very quickly on his own at level 2. Whirlpool and knockback on the tidal wave is very, very strong for them. But it's going to delay Juice Gaming's start to this game considerably with how the game's begun.
Juice Gaming just now being able to look at their own blue buff since they tried to aggress onto the opponent right there. Transonics and Gili facing off against Pooka and Hotbo. Pretty standard dual lanes here with the Xbalanque Gev and the Athena Ho Yi.
Now, as long as there's no death over in this dual lane, this should be relatively a quick level 5, I want to say, to both the dual laners. When I say quick level 5, not really, it's going to be standard, but because the junglers are behind and the mids are behind as well, we should actually see the level 5 is reached about the same time.
I like that play coming out of Elevate. So the taunt was shredded by the Geb shield, but the immediate stun out of Hotpo secured both hits of the shield wall. So that's understanding that the Geb shield is going to negate some of the crowd control, but as long as you follow it up immediately, you're still able to get the full damage out of Athena.
A little bit of an invade from Elevate here, looking to look at the purple buff potentially, but a call came out from the mid lane and jungle of Elevate to let them know that Juice Gaming were also on that side, more than likely dropping the red buff, which they do. And now everyone's going to rotate back towards the lanes, but hold on a second, there's a rotation from Elevate looking at duo.
There's two players here, both Poseidon and Guan Yu.
TeeVee
purple. Heading to mid lane. This is going to be 4-on-2.
They're looking for purple more than anything else. Deny the experience that Juice Gaming basically left up because they were in a rough spot there, but instead there may be a bad situation here for Juice.
TeeVee's here as well, but it's still 4-on-3. Gustavy taking a lot of poke. Juice have isolated him, and Guan Yu falls for the first blood. Transonics, again, very important that it goes on the Xbalanque.
So Gustavy committed completely then on that side of the map, and the rest of the team chose to disengage and left him isolated and alone against the rest of Juice Gaming. So first blood going over to them, and going over to a Xbalanque. Transonics will be very happy about that one.
Great start going for the Xbalanque right here.
That helps him out so much, especially when he lost his purple buff because of the invade. It's just brought him back into it once again, and an additional stack for his passive too. Exactly.
What seemed to be a poor beginning of the game for Juice is quickly turned around by way of first blood onto the Hunter. Now it's, well, it's going to be 2-on-1 in that long lane. Here in the short lane, Dust versus Uzzy. Hades does have this heal.
It's one of those matchups where Dust just has to farm.
Yep.
He can't realistically kill the Hades. Hades has got plenty of ways of escaping away from it. And left-hand side, looks like those Harpies will go to Juice.
And again, when it comes to that bludgeon, Hades is going to be able to stop that. The silence in the middle of it will stop the majority of that bludgeon damage. So if Uzzy plays this correctly, Dust is going to have a hard time being able to clear.
Elevate have a good situation here, though, because they have the timer on the right and Harpies because they took those ones down. But they also have the left Harpies. They know the timer because Athena was there now, which means because they're on offset timers too, we'll potentially see more fights.
A little bit of poke coming out onto Uzzy from Dust. Just a little bit here or there. Nothing too impactful. Ultimate is online for both of these players as we're level 6 in the solo lane collectively.
Uzzy not really panicking there. You can see that he's just walking away a little bit. He's looking for extra sustain, but he's got to watch out for a rotation from TeeVee that could potentially turn up here as well. You can see him slowly making his way over here, but look at how much heal he gets off those minions.
All the way up. All the way up. TeeVee here to secure the blue buff for his solo laner.
Such a weird game when you see people invade on both sides of the map because all the jungle timers are on different times now. Obviously, they normally all take at the start of the game. At the beginning, you'll see mids with the red buff. You'll see the solos with the blue buff at exactly the same time, so their camps respawn identically. But now with everyone starting differently, all these buffs are offset, which means there's more potential for invades or non-invades because you don't know what time of their buffs on.
Right. So a little bit of unknown factors really going to impact the game here. So in comparison to game number 2, Hindu Man, would you say this game is slower or faster?
It's definitely slower, but it's a lot more tactical than the last game. Last game was run and gun is what I want to say.
Oh, yeah.
In an Xbox term, run and gun is one of those I'd say. But this is all about tactical awareness and trying to make something happen. We saw an attempt at potential what people call cheese with the double invade coming out from Juice Gaming there, but it was trying to throw Elevate off their game, and it didn't really work out for them, so they've had to go back to traditional format of Smite, and it's worked out okay for them with that first blood pickup.
Elevate still have yet to find a kill. Not on the board just yet, but it's still early. 5.5.
Just keep an eye on those Hunters because that could go off at any moment. They're both about the same sort of level too, so we'll see them definitely looking to fight consistently. Hotbow's not scared to go aggressive on that whole Yi. I think the big important factor here is that Transonics needs to realize there's an Athena on the map.
Yep.
That could come in at any moment. And to be fair to Gili on the support Geb, his positioning and timing of turning up with those shields have been pretty on point.
Speaking of the Athena, Pooka
mid lane,
show his face.
Bit of pressure onto Janus there as well that we just saw coming out from Gustavy again. Gustavy, you having a good time in the jungle today?
The ward presence by Elevate is all... You have wards on the left side of the jungle, and previously we had wards on the right side of the jungle. And when I say the jungle, I mean Juice's jungle. These wards have been very aggressively placed, and we're not necessarily seeing Elevate go into the enemy jungle for the kills. It's just the knowledge. Having the awareness of where the enemy is will allow Elevate to really apply pressure at the correct points on the map.
Well, Purified just gave the game away knowing that there's a ward on there, but they're really looking to commit on Gili here. He's in a world of trouble. Tried to use the rollout, but the charge was stopped immediately. Paul a little bit too late from Purified to save his teammate, and Gili's going to be a casualty of war there.
And see, right there, I was saying that Elevate was using the wards to really tactically apply pressure elsewhere, but when you're granted that opportunity, they saw how alone Giliara was. Sure, go aggressive into the enemy jungle, separate the one character from the rest of the team, and go for the kill. This time a little bit different, just straight up going for the ult in the mid lane. TeeVee takes a lot of poke, but he'll ultimately be able to walk away.
He only survived because Purified's portal there was perfect to actually banish 2 of them out of the fight. If they would have been up, I'm pretty sure TeeVee would have ended up dying, but right inside, Dust is in trouble, and there's an army of Elevate marching for him. He's trying to get back, and you can see how much the commitment from Uzzy is to keep him pinned here.
That ultimate out of Transonics is a nice gesture, but Dust.
Got Cataclysm, still not enough.
Into some damage. Geb's here, but it's just not enough. Giliar gets credit for Gustavy as the tower takes down the Guan Yu. But Purified a little bit too late. Uzzy is pretty low.
For a second.
With a good dash, he's fine.
I like the way he used the silence there to apply the blight stack so he could heal himself up a little bit. They could potentially turn this one around, but oh, Purified got a nice little bit of damage off. The body blocks of the portal were good, but not good enough to stop the amazing magician Janus getting out.
Purified able to find his portal finally, walk over threshold, and be safe.
We should make a magician skin for Janus, actually, thinking about it.
Magician?
He is a magician.
I guess so.
Now you see me, now you don't. Because that's exactly what he does. He's there 1 minute, gone the next.
Isn't, I mean, I guess so. Magician? Sure.
Imagine if a portal closed halfway through and just half of him is on one side and the other as well. That's a magician.
Yeah, but then they come back together, right?
Yeah, eventually.
I can see it. And right now, Transonics can see the fact that Hotbow is at his buff. But again, no real aggression, just going to farm up this wave. These hunters, they want to fight each other, and they want to impact the game later on. They don't really want to. We haven't seen too many mid-game rotations to these team fights outside of Cold Fury.
If these two hunters want to fight, for Transonics, he'll be waiting for that Soul Eater to be finished and then look for the all-in. He'll have a massive amount of damage aggression available to him and the sustain, and Hotbow will only really have the sustain that's going to be available to him on that one.
I like how Hotbow's able to turn on the bolas and that scares Hotbow enough. Stun from TeeVee. Hotbow still hasn't used the jump, and that's important. Transonics not shading over into that corridor.
Very, very patient on that one, which is smart. Left harpies are spawning though, but aggression to Purified again, and the magician once again escapes.
All right, I like it.
See?
I like it.
Every single time.
Now, is Purified the magician or is Janus the magician?
No, it's definitely Janus as a magician.
All right.
Purified dies too much to be a magician.
I don't know about that one. This game right now, he's 1-0-1. 0 deaths on the scoreline for him. Left
harpies though have gone to elevate once again. Cold Fury is available. But it looks like they're still trying to make a play onto Hotbow here. TeeVee needs to watch himself. He just got hit by big tongue Kraken combo. Good night, sweet prince.
elevateAggro gets credit for that one. Really, the Whirlpool Kraken combination. Too much, as TeeVee's protections got shredded by way of Gustavy.
And this is why Poseidon's loved on Xbox, because that burst damage that you can put out and control that comes off with a Kraken really influences a fight, especially with an Athena taunt, just to confirm things. Time and time again, these Athena taunts, with the slows coming out and the protection shred from Gustavy, this combo of these three roaming around, it reminds me a little bit of like the PC playstyle of roam as a three-man pack and let the other two just continue farming.
Yeah, a lot of times we see this core unit, essentially, the mid lane, the jungle, and the support group up as a unit and try to find, usually it's a purple buff or a blue buff here or there, but a lot of times you'll be able to just catch somebody in the jungle willy-nilly, and that's essentially what happened to TeeVee. He was just walking on his own side of his jungle and got smoked by 3 members.
That's one of the things that you hear people ask about when you start the game, like, what role should I play if I want to learn the game? Well, it's like, well, if you want to play solo lane or hunting, you need to practice your 1v1s because that's what you're going to be left in for the most part of the game. But then if you're going to be playing one of the other roles, then you're probably going to be working as a threesome with, you know, each 2 other members that you have to communicate well with and make sure you farm effectively.
Transonics taking some poke. Still trailing by about half a level to Elevate's Hotbow, but ultimately up in gold by an insignificant amount.
Yeah, sustain's still there for both of them though at the moment. Transonics really wants that Soul Eater finish though before he really looks for a big old trade between the two of them. Just the extra sustain he'll get and the extra health he'll get from finishing that item will really impact this lane a little bit more. You can see actually Transonics trying to bait this out a little bit more actually.
Love the play of Transonics, just confident standing still. Gili on the other hand, he might be confident, but he's going to stand still for longer than he'd like. Sent back to the base by way of Gustavy. Kraken also comes, and TeeVee going to find himself blocked by his own wall.
Not enough.
And Gustavy gets the double kill with the protection shred onto the
Dust
opponent.
Though. Dust did make a good rotation and pick up the kill onto Aggro on that Poseidon now. He's looking for more here with the aggression onto Athena, but turns his attention once more to Hades and has to back away.
Dust with the quick rotation. Love that commitment. But unfortunately, well, this time around, Hades didn't really show up.
Yeah, Hades a little bit later on that rotation. There was a good play from Dust to actually get over there as quick as he did to try and turn that one around. But it was Gili getting caught first of all that caused an issue, and TeeVee tried to make it worthwhile and ended up paying with his life too.
Puri still here in the mid lane. 13 to Poseidon's 12, despite the fact that Poseidon has an extra kill and 2 extra assists above his opponent. But Puri hasn't died yet.
It's a much more even game than the last one in terms of like the aggression, but the problem I see once again for Juice, like I said in picks and bans, is that this Poseidon up against the Juice Gaming lineup, look how many of these gods are going to be in close range for Kraken potential. You've got Cabrakan that wants to come all the way in there with the big old stuns and the tremors in the ground. You sit still for tremors. It's a little bit like an Anubis where you have to stand still for your damage. You've got Geb. He's going to want to be on the front line too. And then on top of that, a Bellona. Well, all three of those have the potential to be deleted by a Kraken. Look at the tanky, though.
Exactly. Yeah, a little bit tanky. Right now, before the characters are able to really build those tanky items, is an opportunity for Poseidon, and he's certainly doing it. 2 kills for him, a couple of assists as well. As not Uzzy this time around. Guan played by the jungler.
Oh, man fight did end up happening.
Oh, there's the ultimate at a hot bow. That might have been a problem, but the Suns crashed down, and he collects Transonics. Taunting as well. Purified's going to show up along with TeeVee and Gili. Hotbow's going to die. He will ultimately pay, but the kill goes the way of Hotbow this time. Hotbow versus Transonics.
And I said about, look at when people have base is the big key there. And we didn't see the Soul Eater finished coming out. Transonics hung around too long with all that health, but Gili's going to die to the tower. No, he's not. Just stops in time. And maybe this will turn around.
It will. TeeVee picks up Gustavy as Elevate tries to dive the support, but Geb walks away. I won't say unscathed, Hindu man, but he walks away with his life.
So the mistake there for him, what happened with Transonics, and it was a mistake to be fair, is that Hotbow would continue to base, and he had a better item situation. Until we just saw Transonics go back to base, he still hadn't finished that Soul Eater, which he had the gold for. Right. He had enough gold to finish it and tier 2 boots.
He just wasn't back to base
He was being greedy for the full boots. That's what it was, it felt like. And Hotbow recognized that, went aggressive, and won because of the trade.
And unfortunately for Transonics now, where previously he had a lead of about 100, now it swung the other way. Hotbow ahead by about 2.
It's only 200 between hunters.
No, it's small, but it's just a swing, you know?
Yeah, it's not even beads 1 just yet, so it's not too much, but I expect to see a different fight once more when we see him come back to lane. I don't think Transonics will let that one just continue as it went. I'm pretty sure we'll see another fight.
Transonics back to the lane.
Not against a full minion wave, though. That's just not wise. That's why you see him back away.
Can't go into the minion wave, even still. 15 minutes in, kills are tied up at 6. Gold very close. Team separated by a small amount. 400 or so, 450, 460. And it's going the way of Juice. With that in mind, though, Hindu man, this is basically a tie game. It
pretty much is a tie game, but the longer this goes on, there's twos and throws for both teams, but I definitely prefer the Elevate lineup with this Kraken. I keep mentioning it. It's just it synergizes so well against the lineup that Juice Gaming have drafted here.
But the mobility of Janus, the ability to just transport his team all over the field, that's got to be in your mind as well.
Agreed. I mean, it can be in your mind, but then Guan Yu's got great rotational ability, and he's in the jungle too, and he can just help set things up. I mean, Protection Shred on Tallow Assault, if he can get to you and shred your protections, the Kraken will destroy you even if you're a tank.
And we've seen that a couple of times here. Guan Yu goes in and, I mean, we saw Gustavy wind up with a double kill in that mid lane before off the Tallow Assault assistance. So
good aggression from Purified there on to the Hades. But meanwhile, the Gold Fury has been started. Gili already backing away through space and time. Fired, does not connect, and that's going to be a Gold Fury to Elevate. And the story of these 2 games so far is whoever's had this first Gold Fury has won the game.
We'll take a look at that one. Spells the same for Elevate this time around. Ultimate out of Dust onto Aggro. Beads out. Ultimate out of Gili is Hotbow, so a lot of those stuns off the mark, just like that Kraken. Elevate now seem to be on the top side of this fight. Transonics all by himself here. Gili trying to escape. Rollout is strong enough. Geb out of the fight. Here comes Uzzy. He's got TeeVee in the clutches, but TeeVee able to find the way out. Puri with a strong portal. Pooka gonna fall to Transonics, and now it's swung in Juice's favor.
Transonics' position in there was absolutely beautiful. He zoned 2-3 members off on his own. He realized that for them to go on him, he could easily disengage once the Kraken was down, and he stood at such an angle that made that fight favorable for Juice Gaming, and Purified's pole just set him up for that kill.
Strong stuff out of the guys on Juice. They eke ahead just a little bit as way of the kills, but Elevate are the ones able to pick up the objective.
That was Juice Gaming trying to return the favor of the Gold Fury being taken more than anything, and they didn't get enough to make it as even as they would have liked. There's only a 200 gold difference, though, because those kills went through. They would have liked to get a tower as well. Unfortunately, not going to get the time to.
Look at this gold. We were at +6 for Juice. That was some of the closest gold we've really seen here in Smite. Everything tied up here. Take a look at Transonics one more time. Level 15 on the Xbalanque.
I think that's one thing Transonics needs to watch out for this as well. There's been a couple of things that I've seen about his playstyle, and he's an Xbox native as well. That's one thing I want to point out. So he's not had the experience of some of these other players in the game. But I see things where he'll hold too much gold in hand, and he's not spending it. Remember, gold in hand's great, but if it's not spent...
Smart jump out of Dust, just barely avoiding the damage out of Athena, but he can't avoid that. Pillar of Agony takes out Dust. Rotation from Juice is strong. There's 3 people here to respond to Elevate, but is it too late?
No,
there's the ult out of Cabrakan. There's the ground pound. Uzzy able to find himself underneath the wall. Safely Elevate under their tower.
Safely under their tower, and a good gank from Elevate just to pick up Dust. Dust tried to make a decent situation there by using the Eagle's Rally to go back towards his tower, but the portal came through from Puri. He could have taken that and saved his ult, been in a lot safer situation. Instead, Elevate are allowed to abuse both the middle lane and the duo lane during that. Pressure on both Tier 1 tower in mid falls, and Hotbow gets some nice damage pressure onto the Tier 1 tower on the left as well.
Yeah, Transonics' tower down to about what? 25%, I'd say, maybe a quarter.
Yeah, this reminds me a little bit of the games that we saw from Juice Gaming up against Release yesterday, where Juice are trying to be reactive to the aggression, but Elevate are making things happen a lot better here.
Right. You know, it's interesting. Game number 2, I'm not ready to take that one as a joke or a troll. Juice played very aggressive. They were the aggressors in that one. They were proactive instead of reactive, and it wound up with a strong victory, Hindu. Is that the type of gameplay that we want to see at a Juice?
I honestly, with how Juice is right now, I think is they get themselves in their own head more than anything else.
I'll agree.
It feels that way. Whenever there's some sort of pressure in the games, they struggle. When there's no pressure, they seem to just be very, very comfortable and control. And I think that's why when we've heard about scrim history between teams, Juice is fantastic at scrims because there's no real pressure in the scrim to an extent. Yeah, you're playing to win, but at the same time, the pressure's kind of off. Nothing's really on the line.
What happens if you lose the scrim?
Exactly. But when there's something on the line, they seem to struggle, and it's showing again.
Yeah, this is game 3. This one is for the 3rd place match, and Gili taking a lot of poke, forced to use Cataclysm here defensively, but it might turn into offense. Portal dropped by Purified, looking for some sort of stun is TeeVee. He gets the wall and he gets the ground pound, and Purified throws the unstable vortex onto Gustavy.
They committed a lot to mid lane Juice Gaming there to find that 1 kill, but the rotation from Elevate is now coming in from the solo and the duo lane Hunter, so we'll see if they do turn this around to Elevate. I think Juice just need to release pressure here. There's nothing else they're going to be able to find, unless they want a full commit, but Cataclysm's on cooldown.
There's all 5 here. Kata is on cooldown, but that's the only ult. Well, no. Purified and Dust are the only 2 players with their ultimates up. It's Elevate who have all the ults up. Gustavy, the only one without an ult, and he's dead.
So they finally pick on Gustavy, cool, but what did they use? They use a full rank teleport on Dust. They use a lot of ultimates, and they don't find anything else really off the back of it. So it's just going to be pretty much a wash, that fight. Yeah, it's a good pick, but it's not enough. It's not as much as they wanted, clearly, by how much they use for it.
Exactly. Just not enough. I mean, that's really it. Juice trying to find more. There might not be any. Elevate sneaking ahead with about 1,000 gold lead on the side of the red team.
And Aussie versus Dust has been one of those matchups where it's a Hades. Hades, not really too worried, as you can see. He's just going to walk away after a quick silence and say, no, I'm not interested. But Godfrey spawned, and Elevate going to take this one again by the looks of it. Juice Gaming a little bit late to find out what's going on with it. It's already going to be dead, boys.
I don't know about that one. There's the Kraken, and that'll secure it. Elevate takes the gold
Kraken down, though. They should fight.
Chasing down his Juice, though. Transonics picks up 1. Transonics picks up 2. And that's both on the Xbalanque Hunter. Pooka under the tower. Gustavy not able to make it quite there, but a silence out of
Transonics went down behind the tower. What was he thinking? He went crazy. Now he's being pulled in, and with a Guan Yu cavalry charge over the top, Transonics in a little bit of trouble there. Still looking for more pressure. Maybe this is a great fight for Juice, though. This should be a tier 2 tower minimum.
Still fine. Purified gets credit on that one. Everyone alive for Juice. Only 2 people still here for Elevate. And that might turn into 1. Uzzy in trouble. Now Pooka in trouble. Both dash away. Transonics says no. Basic. Gili takes that kill away from the Xbalanque Hunter as Transonics gets his 4th assist of the game. 4-1-4 for Trans.
Gili just sat there and went, shout out to Incon as he punched that one in the face. I guarantee you that one. They could look for the Phoenix here. There's only really Athena to defend for a few seconds. Poseidon's back. No Kraken available. But the Suns are here from Hotbo. And a big taunt comes out that's going to cause a lot of issues. The knockback is good enough to secure one into aggro. But after 3 space and time is fired, 2 will get out. And Dust, well, he's going to have to send him on a wild goose chase to keep his teammates alive.
Dust by himself. Hotbo trying to chase. He will. Gets a knock up. With 2 here, Dust is not likely to make it out alive, especially with Gustavy coming from around the corner. Hotbo gets credit for that. 2-2-1.
Best news there for Juice is that Dust did do the correct thing and actually managed to stop them from being able to rush down a Fire Giant potentially. Because, you know, they had the rotation to go straight in, especially because everyone needed to recall there. Sad news for Juice, they don't find that Phoenix though. So you can see the goal difference between the two, relatively still even.
Purified loses the ward battle there. Pooka able to take out Puri's sentry on the Fire Giant.
Pooka's rotation has been fantastic this game as well on this Athena. He's done really, really good work on this. I'm pretty sure he's normally the AD carry, right? I'm pretty sure Pooka's normally the AD carry. But he was supposed to be jungle from what I understood, but no, he's in the support role right now. And we see Gustavy playing jungle, and he was supposed to be the support?
Well, Aggro's the new player here. Aggro is the new player here in general.
Well, Hotbo's the newest, but he's not really, he's just a sub for the most part. It's crazy. But this lineup of Elevate have looked pretty good. They had a good performance against Eager. They're having a good one against Juice. Now, Juice, though, are in control in terms of kills here. The goal difference between the two is marginally different, so still anyone's game. And Transonics this game, he just wants to fight.
Yeah, and with that...
He dived a tier 1 tower from behind against 3 members like, let's fight, boys.
Well, we saw Transonics yesterday in one of the more high-profile Juice games as they tried to find their way into the finals. This Xbalanque Fatalis build. What this allows Transonics to do is just absolutely not press stop.
Oh, Gili's in trouble again. They're really focusing him down, but the Cataclysm is just buying him enough time. They're wasting a lot on Gili. Another rotation from Juice is here. I think Juice could punish him for this.
Here's Transonics on the top side. He's going to get Kraken, but not the center point. But now he's...
Oh, the Eagles running!
Juice shows up to help him out. There's a shield onto the Hunter. Hotbo dropping the Suns. That's going to provide a little bit of space
Conviction.
to allow Elevate to breathe just a little bit. Aggro, the first one on the board in this fight. Dust surrounded, picks up Aggro with the bludgeon slam. Puri gets a portal, but it's not quick enough to save the life of Dust.
Taunt in. Good shield from Gili. Good knock up to buy his teammate at some time as well. Puri tries to put some more damage off, uses the portal to disengage. But now Elevate should be able to pressure even mid or look for the Fire Giant here. The reason Elevate won that fight, which I thought they overcommitted to for the Gili, was the sustain from Hades and the sustain from a Guan. Both of them healing up their teammates over and over again. And there was nothing Juice could do to the amount of sustain that they had because they didn't have the burst.
Tie game here at 25.5, 13-11 read the kills in this one. The series is all tied up. Juice taking game 2 in a very fast-paced game. Elevate taking game number 1. This is a best of 3 for our 3rd place match. So both teams being very careful and really planning out their movements.
That whole team fight there just showed that Juice Gaming probably need to consider a little bit of anti-heal on their side lineup now. It's not one when you see the enemy lineup of Elevate that you think about anti-heal too much, right. But in cluster team fights like that, the amount of sustain they have is absolutely extraordinary. Remember, Conviction's cooldown does get lowered when he uses it as well, if he's hitting teammates with it, and he's getting better stacks of his Conviction passive if he's taking damage during them too. On top of the fact you've got Uzzy there on that Hades that's sustaining everybody in them too, it's a lot of sustain.
Hades has been very powerful in this tournament, both today and yesterday. Gold Fury being walked around by the guys on Elevate. Juice sniffs it out. No vision here for Juice necessarily. They're gonna chase. Juice is gonna chase Elevate off, and let's listen to what they're thinking as they clear the wards.
Cap vision. Look, cap. They're on me. They're on me.
Janus ulting. He's gonna turn this.
One in the back. One in the back.
I will shoot over.
Poseidon.
Yo, you guys are...
Athena's super low too. I got Athena.
Yes, I'm on her.
You guys need to help the back line.
I got her dash.
Help the back line.
I got Janus.
Nice.
Hop.
Keep going. I still have blink. Force a jump.
UT beat us.
Yeah.
I think it's dead already, actually.
Push left.
Push.
should we get what, gold after this or
No,
tier
2-2, then gold.
T2 gold. Okay.
T2 gold.
Oh, Dust saved it. Dust saved the tower.
Good job.
Yeah, I saved it. I'm gonna stop him from backing if I can. He dashed.
Now gold, and then we can get out.
I'm chasing him down. I'm making sure he doesn't back.
Okay.
He dashed behind mids.
Let's go to gold.
I don't see where he went. All right, he's still walking up lane. He's still walking up lane.
Okay.
Go gold, gold, gold.
If he like dash ult in, we just kill him.
All right, I'm on my way. I'm on my way.
Do we have any eyes on him?
No, I have no eyes. I have like wards for the jungle, but that's it.
We have no eyes on fire. Oh yeah.
Check fire.
Oh no, he's still down there.
Well, they all just respawned.
Yeah.
I'm gonna back and get mid guardian mail.
All business for the guys on Juice as they calculate their objectives. They figure out the right sequence in which to take them, and now they're worried about the Fire Giant on that side. After that engagement, Hindu Man, that's going to be the first swing that we really see here in game number 3, excuse me. 17-11, and perhaps more importantly, 3,000 gold. Juice in the lead.
Absolutely the best engagement I've seen out of Juice Gaming today. That was the best team fight they've had, and they managed to execute it perfectly. They used all the burst they had, which is really a Cabrakan and Janus combo, to delete the Kraken boy early. Poseidon went down very quickly before the sustained comp of Elevate could really kick in and heal him all the way back up again. The fight was perfectly executed. TeeVee's war was huge, and then they won the resulting fight, and the good decision making from them there, honestly, to go for the tier 2 tower, then the Gold Fury. They could have looked at a Phoenix potentially, but I think the right call was the Gold Fury and then defend the fire. Dust a little bit overextended here, and he may get picked off because of this.
Yeah, there's 4 or 5. The whole team of Elevate is here. Hotbo trailing behind, but Juice trying to make things happen. Hotbo will make the long way around, and nobody died there, which is really strong for Juice.
Strong for Juice, but I think Elevate were more situationally aware of the reinforcements that Juice had on the coming in. Gili, though, they're trying to commit for him once again, put the pressure on, forcing out some advantages. Dust is teleported back in, and through space and time has been found that hits 2. Uzzy's trying to do work with the Hades ult to create a zone, but it's not enough of one just now.
Uzzy's ultimate not really impactful here in this fight, as he was unable to really catch many people. Hotbo's ultimate, on the other hand, gonna rain down on what looks like 2 to 3 players for Juice. There's a strong ult out of Cabrakan as he pounded the ground. Transonics able to find the bob and weaving gustavy, and around the corner comes Gili.
Good fight for
chasing
Juice.
out another kill
Look at
going the way of
Transonics.
Transonics. He takes out Athena. That's 2. He's still got the gas pedal. That's 3.
That's a
He's
quadra.
looking for more.
That's
looking
a
directly
quadra.
at aggro. Slow is strong. Fatalis is online. That's 4. The quadra kill for Transonics. TeeVee got the quadra last game. Transonics got the quadra this game. It leads to the Dia side and the tier 2 tower. Juice is looking like the team on top.
Just looking like the team that we hope would show up to this tournament right now. They've had a good performance in this game. The last one, they threw the playbook to the win to the extent and actually found the win. But now, they're going to find a win.
Titan. Juice going directly for the win right here, all in on top of the enemy base. The towers are down, the Phoenix has suffered. And ladies and gentlemen, we have a 3rd place winner, and it's Juice above Elevate.
I'll be honest, after game 1, I did not expect it going that way. I came into this expecting a 2-0 to the boys of Elevate, and Juice did something good in game 2 to really give themselves some morale, some boost in that game. The main thing in that game was the 2 fights that were the big winners for them was the Gold Fury fight, where TeeVee got a very good initiation off, and the burst was good to delete a member. And then the second fight, it was an extended fight, but the big key was they took out one of the healers in Gustavy on that Guan. With Guan falling to Transonics, it allowed Juice Game to just push on and win the game because of it, because they could just beat down the rest of the team.
It was so interesting to me in that last sort of sequence that we watched, where we saw Dust in objectively the wrong spot. He was just surrounded by the enemy, and somehow he was able to just Bellona out of there, and Juice responded in time correctly, and unfortunately Uzzy's ultimate was not able to impact the fight at all. So because of that, Juice ultimately wind up taking that fight and the game. Let's take a look at the brackets right here as Juice wind up on top. There, your number 3. Elevate sits at number 4. And still yet to come, we have Eager versus Release. That'll be the finals. We'll take a look at how those go in just a couple of minutes.
And the big key about that is, you were talking about the Bellona play over in that right-hand lane. I think that was more down to Elevate. They normally committed very, very strongly in that engagement between the two, and we're quite happy to go very, very aggressive. But that time they were worried about the reinforcements from Juice coming, and so Dust, well, he was tanky enough with those health, so he was very, very effective, and it worked out well for him.
It was just altogether a real big team fight and how everything was going, and we're actually going to be joined here by one of the members of Juice himself. It's going to be Dust. How you doing? Congratulations on your third place victory.
Thanks, man.
So Greyface. Greyface worked out.
Yeah, no space.
Greyface, no space.
Greyface, no space.
Ah, let him. Sorry.
Is that how you get the face in chat?
Yeah.
Excellent. So we've got on a serious note, you guys talk me through the whole series, because it seemed like we had 3 very different games going on.
All right, so obviously yesterday we were really down after losing that set, but so we were like, we're gonna have really a lot of fun today, and we weren't necessarily trolling. We just wanted to have like fun picks that we wouldn't normally do,
right?
Because you know when you try hard, it's not that much fun. So we did the chalk mid because Brandon was like, "Yo, chalk mid spreads," and then
chalk. I still profess the love for chalk mid.
Spread,
it does not spread.
Doesn't spread.
It does not spread.
Doesn't spread.
It's not. And then the second game, Shea Waz told us, you know, play Anubis mid, and Purified was like, rap god. He just spread. I don't know. And then the third game, well, honestly, doing those picks, we didn't expect to win any of the games.
Right.
But once we did win the second game, we're like, all right, let's do one last try hard, and then maybe we'll pull it out.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed to work out for you. And in game number 2 specifically, where you guys played the Anubis, and really it wasn't just the picks, it was the play style. You guys sort of went very aggressive. It was a very fast-paced game. And not only did that work out for the picks, it worked out for seemingly your team, and you forced Elevate to really play on your terms. I know you guys went into it with the mindset of having fun, but at what point in that game, because you definitely could tell, at what point in that game did it click that you could win?
I mean, I didn't see what happened in mid lane, but apparently there was a 2v2 fight with Purified and TeeVee, and they won it somehow. I don't know how they did it, but they just went off, and they were like, we're winning this game.
Yeah.
So, and then we just drafted Gab and Kepri. I mean, I fed in lane, but I'm just there to keep Anubis alive. Granted, I missed the ult on him.
Yeah, I was going to say, you missed one of those as well. But you
target is very hard.
Talk to me about Guan Yu in the solo, because Uzzy played fantastically today, I felt, against you in the lane. And
yeah,
it was a rough opposition for you.
So when I picked Kepri and I saw him pick Guan, I thought, you know, maybe I'll have a good time since, you know, he threes, I pull him out, which I did on the first wave, and I did a lot of damage to him. But obviously he's pretty smart, so he just dashed behind me and then cleared it that way. So if I want to dash into him, I don't clear any of the creeps at all. Granted, I could have tried it because I was leveling my 1 because the burst is huge.
Yeah.
But yeah, laning phase wasn't that fun against him, but he played really well.
So big picture here. You guys have gone to MLG, correct?
Yeah.
You guys have gone to MLG, and you guys have been here this weekend. These are your first 2 lands as a team, and for the most part, really, as individuals. TeeVee has experience, but not so much you guys. How much of your performance would you chalk up to sort of inexperience at LAN, and how important do you think this experience is going forward to the LANs in the future?
Well, definitely at MLG, it was 4 of our members, besides TeeVee, it was their first LAN experience, like anything at all, ever.
Right.
So we were all definitely like, you know, we had nerves and stuff like that, but I don't really think that was the big thing. The big thing is that we were too serious about it. We were too focused on like, what if we lose? And, you know, we did. Yeah. And then, so we came into this one, we were just like, listen, we're going to win, right? We didn't, but we played really, really well.
Yes, I definitely agree. And, you know, like you said, maybe not so much nerves, but getting in your own head. Do you feel that the individual experiences here will set you up for more success in the future as you go on to your next lands trying to qualify for Worlds?
For sure.
Excellent. Well,
final question for you, though. Eager is up against Release Gaming next.
Yep.
Who's your money on?
I'm putting my money on Eager.
What score? Are we going to go best of 5 for 6 hours again?
No.
No?
3-1.
3-1. I
Eager.
said that too earlier.
All right. Well, a couple people are thinking Eager. We'll take a look. Release looks pretty strong. Once again, this is Dust, solo laner for Juice. Congratulations on your win, and we'll see you in a little bit.